Hello everyone, I am Bhanu Prakash Nanda from Consultant Counsel, and today we have Shraddha Mahapatra over here, who is the executive in a private firm. And apart from that, she is also a book reviewer and content creator. Hi Shraddha, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. I'm doing good. Hi, everybody.
Yeah, thanks for joining us, Shraddha.
You're welcome. It's my pleasure.
Shraddha, could you just give us a brief about book reviewing and content creating? Like, what exactly it is?
Okay. So, for example, book reviewing usually is not really known to people as much as other things. Other part of blogging is known. So, book reviewing is exactly like you, for example, on Amazon, you buy a product and then you use it, you experience it, and you write a review for it so that others get benefited by it and others develop a trust on it. Similarly, book reviewing is about reading a book and giving your opinions on the same so that
Okay.
people get benefited with your reviews and they get to know a summary about it. Book it can be having any spoilers or not. It depends upon the reviewer itself if he or she wants to give any spoiler or not. But then it develops a trust among people who want to try reading and who would like to try out any new book. And content
Correct.
creation obviously has been the game for all the marketeers these days
Correct.
because of the digital media boom. And everybody nowadays is into content creation because that is something which attracts eyes of people. And again, it's something that plays on trust of the people.
True, true, true. Yeah. And choosing something like book reviewing, like how did you develop passion and interest in this?
Okay, so that's an interesting story. I happened to start reading in my 11th standard. And then
Okay.
when I got into BTech, I was just a normal user of Instagram. I had a very private account. But then what happened is I just posted a simple summary of the book I was reading, and one of the authors who happened to connect to me by the hashtags I used, he gave me this idea of going on to reviewing for budding
Okay.
authors, and that would help people to get to know about a book, upcoming book. So that way, since I was already used to the process, but I didn't know that's called book reviewing,
Yeah.
I did it. And the first pay I got from the author who approached me for the sale, that
Yeah.
exactly motivated me and encouraged me to continue it.
That's nice to hear actually.
Thank you so
So
much.
yeah. So like people may be wondering how this book reviewing and content creating is actually monetized. So could you please guide us like how this is done?
Sure. So this is kind of a service you can say. You are basically reviewing it for either your audience because blogging is a kind of a service nowadays. You can consider it as a service. So
Correct.
now that people are getting influenced by you, you could use your platform by the publisher, the author, whoever approaches you, because it could be a publishing house as well. So you could
Yeah.
ask them for a payment. It could range from literally 100 to anything. I mean, depends upon the audience you're influencing, the number of audience. So, particularly speaking about Instagram, you can start monetizing your services once you reach 1,000 followers, because that is a
Okay.
good base to start. Uh, you know, a blogging which is more influential. So at
True.
least 1,000 people are seeing your content, are reading your content, and the content is reaching to them. So you could ask for a reasonable payment and negotiate it with the party. And then
Okay.
once you come down to a reasonable base for both the parties, then you can start monetizing it that way. And the similar thing happens for any blogging platform or wherever you're posting your reviews.
Nice. So yeah, so basic criteria is like we need to have that small base like via followers or something, right?
Correct,
True.
because we are getting paid to influence people, So that's
Yeah,
why you need to have that minimum number of people to start with.
exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah. So one thing just came in my mind, ki like in book reviewing and content creation, there may be like some problems you might be facing, right? I was thinking like if somebody asked you to review a book which you don't like, so
correct.
any such problems you face, could you please, yeah, could
Sure.
you please tell us?
So the thing you mentioned is definitely one of the problems. I mean, most of the books I got for review was basically into the romance genre,
Okay.
which I am not a big fan of. But then, since I was into my initial stages of book reviewing, which I'm talking about 3 years back, I did it. But then, once I started developing a strong base for myself, I chose to tell a no to the books I don't like reviewing. Right. So I started choosing more non-fiction because that's the area I'm very comfortable with, and that's where I like investing time for reading. And then another big problem is the deadlines, because you obviously negotiate for a service and then you promise for a deadline that you are going to give the review within 10 days or 14 days. I mean, you
Mhm.
get on a particular agreement.
Yeah.
So obviously, since book reviewing is not my bread and butter, I just did it for my hobby and I developed a passion for it. It was very difficult for me to carry it along with my academics and work. So that was the second issue. Otherwise, if somebody has, that much zeal and time to invest for this, they can definitely go forward.
Okay. So yeah, I can understand that. Yeah. So really, the always starts from scratches and it goes on. Then you can like choose it. Yeah.
Correct.
And the final question that I would like to ask you is, ki, see, any message that you want to tell, say to people, ki, regarding content creation first thing, ki, what actually could be, and also book reviewing for someone who is actually fresher, and also for people who are actually trying to pursue their career. So yeah, over to you.
Sure. I would say to use Instagram as a major tool for establishing yourself into this platform of blogging, be it any kind of blogging. Since we are talking
Yeah.
about book reviewing and content creation. Content creation can be anything, it's a very broad spectrum, but
Correct.
book reviewing is a very niche segment, which is not very liked by people when you compare to other blogging things like fashion blogging, right? Book reviewing is not
Okay.
very, loved by people. So,
Yeah.
for a fresher, I would say it's very important for them to have patience to build. I mean, go on for organic growth on Instagram. Like, for
Mm-hmm.
example, they have an option to use 30 hashtags, relevant hashtags for the post that they give. So
Yeah.
choosing the correct hashtag is very important, because that is where your posts are going to be linked to the
Exactly.
server,
For
and
that
then it
particular.
reaches the correct person. So
Yeah.
that is important, and then being consistent is important. On a personal note, I was not very consistent, because of which I did face issues initially, but then I understood that the importance of being consistent is like necessary, because it helps you, stay visible to your audience. At least your audience
Exactly.
do not
Yeah.
forget you. And yeah, once you reach 1,000 followers, it's very easy. You can go for referrals. You can go for paid promotions on Instagram, right? And talking about other blogging platforms, obviously we have to like put on stories, since Instagram is the
Hmm.
main thing I'm asking
Yeah.
to get on for a promotion. We can use other blogging platforms as a link on the story, so that the audience get to know that we are available on different platforms as well. That's it.
Yeah. Uh, Thanks for your time, Shraddha, and I hope the people might get to understand many facts from this session
Sure.
regarding book review and content creation. So
Yeah.
thanks for your time, Shraddha. Thank you.
Thank you so much.